Ketones. Hi, this is Jane Mitten from Jane Does Keto, and we're doing a 30-day keto challenge. We're on day 11, and today I'm answering questions from people about kind of what actually does happen when your body goes into a ketone burning state as we get towards a ketogenic state. Burning ketones can take a day or two, but getting into a ketogenic state can take several weeks, which is why we're on the 30-day challenge. So I've compiled your questions, and I'm going to answer them now. So I will be referring to my notes a bit, but one of the things about burning ketones is it bumps up the mitochondria, which is the superstar of your body's cells. And it's constantly rejuvenating them and renewing them, and it's doing it at a faster pace when you're burning ketones, which means you're burning your own body fat and not glucose or sugars. So that's a very important point. And this is healthy and safe for anyone, whether you want to lose weight or not. I'm not a doctor. I'm telling you about my experience, which is in 6 months in the past year, I lost 62 pounds. I kept that off, and now I'm deep diving in to lose another 25, and I'm doing it with you. So a few more things about burning ketones is it greatly reduces inflammation in the body, and it lowers your blood pressure. It lowers your risk of cancer. It lowers your risk of an autoimmune disease. All these things could be very problematic to you now or in the future. And it improves your brain and neurological function. So it actually helps with the neuroplasticity of the brain, which is the constant rewiring or remapping of the brain, because the brain likes to work off of fat, not glucose. So cancer grows on glucose, but if you're in a ketogenic state and you're doing intermittent fasting, which is so important, they're hand in hand, keto and fasting. If you're doing both and you're fasting 18 hours and you're eating this way for 6 hours a day, cancer tumors can't grow in that state. So if you think that might be happening, or that might, be happening to someone you know, get them on keto, but make them fast too. So let's talk a little about vegetables. A lot of people think that keto is something where you're eating bacon 5 times a day and you're having, steaks 3 times a day. You don't have any vegetables, and that is absolutely not the case. So I am actually on OMAD, 1 meal a day. So I fast for 23 hours and I eat 1 meal, which is significantly bigger. Today, I ate organic Norwegian salmon with avocado and Swiss chard, kale, green and red leaf vegetables, cabbage. I had some feta cheese. I made a balsamic vinaigrette, and I also had a little piece of cheese on the side. And it was mostly vegetables, but the salmon, of course, has a lot of fat, as does cheese and the balsamic vinaigrette. So I would think that would be considered very healthy by most people. Some of the vegetables that are absolutely included and considered vital to the keto diet are the following: kale, Swiss chard, mustard greens and collard greens, microgreens. They're very tiny little greens. They're extraordinarily healthy. Lettuce, cabbage, red leaf lettuce, green leaf lettuce, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, spinach. These things have phytonutrients, and what this does, and probiotics. And what it does is it will bump up your immune system. And in a time during a pandemic, it's always good to be boosting your immune system, and it is at any time. And so that's something you want to consider. So you definitely want to eat 6 to 10 cups of vegetables a day on keto. The next thing is an avocado. An avocado is actually not a vegetable, it's a fruit, but it acts like a vegetable in the body because it has a very low glycemic index, does not spike your immune system or your insulin much. Now, anything you eat, including celery, will spike your insulin level, but a very small amount, versus a Dunkin' Donut, pasta. Those things will spike it dramatically, and that's not good, and that's what we avoid on keto. So an avocado, as an example, has 1,067 micrograms of potassium. So that's a really large amount, and potassium is, of course, one of the things that helps you prevent things like dehydration and is an electrolyte. Another thing is you're reducing your inflammation when you're on keto, and so some of the things to reduce inflammation are green tea. I recommend the PK teas. They're on Amazon, PIQUE. They're the cleanest teas I've ever seen in the world, and they're just fantastic tasting, and I think you'll really enjoy them. Many different flavors. They come in a little tiny package you can carry in your purse, your pocket, and they're granules, so you don't even have a tea bag, so it makes it easy. So to reduce inflammation, green tea, which should be organic, blueberries, even blackberries. Blueberries and blackberries would be the preference in the berry family, and that's really the only fruit that you should have. Ginger, fresh ginger. I buy little packages of frozen ginger at places like Trader Joe's, Safeway, Kroger. Everybody has it, and it just comes in a little tiny pallet with little squares of frozen ginger. There's also ones of frozen garlic and basil. I find those extremely helpful in cooking, and they just saute right into the vegetables, give it a lot of flavor, and they're all kind of to bump up your immune system, I should say. So, and then as I said about turmeric, you want to take turmeric, actually use it as a spice or an herb would be the preference. Secondly, I would take it in a pill. I would not go with anything in a gummy form. That's really not good for the gut at all. So definitely try to just sprinkle it into your foods as a seasoning, and it's greatly helpful as well. Your digestion will improve greatly on keto, which you'll find within a week or so of going on it. Your skin becomes very luminous on keto, where before you might have been having problems. I've been told by friends that are vegans that when they went on keto, all of their skin problems cleared up, and they were eating what they thought was a very clean diet, but it didn't have all the nutrients and vitamins that they now are taking in. And because of the fasting gives you the chance to restore, replenish, and rejuvenate the body, as well as the skin, which we know is something like 60% of the body. It's the biggest organ in your body is your skin. I found that very interesting. So anyway, this will greatly improve your skin because there is a lot of vitamin A. So as an example, fish, wild caught, has vitamin A. You want to have shellfish, eggs. Make sure your eggs are pasture raised. If you can get duck eggs, those are fantastic, but make sure you always eat the yolk because, of course, that's where the good fats are. If you had brain fog or fatigue, you want to definitely be taking in salmon. I consider that the best food you can eat, along with an avocado. Salmon, you want to definitely get a wild-caught salmon. It's more expensive, but again, you're only eating once or twice a day, so you can spend more money per meal, and you get higher quality food. As you probably know, salmon has omega-3 fatty acids, and those things do an enormous amount for your body. They help burn fat, and they also do a lot for you neurologically. So consider salmon as one of the most important foods you can eat. Let's go over a little bit about what you should be purchasing, and I'll start with the healthy fats. So for cooking, you can use things like coconut oil, ghee, ghee comes in a bottle and it's clarified butter, avocado oil, and olive oil. Olive oil, I buy that organic. If you're eating the healthy fats, such as extra virgin olive oil is great, coconut oil, using these in salad dressings and other things, avocado oil again, MCT oil, as I've talked about that before, it's the medium chain triglycerides, and what it is, it's the cover of a coconut's oil along with the palm tree's oil. So MCT oil, either in just pure oil or a powder, is phenomenal for getting you into a ketone burning state, and it helps you burn fat faster. So it is really essential. And you can cook with it, you can put it in a salad dressing. A lot of people make a bullet coffee, which is coffee with either a little ghee or a tablespoon of butter, if you can imagine, and MCT oil or powder. And that tastes actually remarkably great, gives you a massive amount of energy, you start burning fat, and the other thing is you will have a bowel movement within an hour. So if you want to make sure that happens regularly, MCT oil is the key. More things that you can eat that are healthy fats. Again, avocado, the king, and you can make guacamole. You want to watch the tomatoes and peppers, because those things are nightshades and they're not really recommended, and they're not healthy. They're really not healthy for anyone. If you're going to eat them, it's fine. Very small amounts though. Seeds and nuts. The best nuts for keto, number one, macadamia nuts, cashews, almonds, and pecans. Some of the seeds that are very healthy are flax seeds. I was taking chia seeds, but I found that that was affecting my gut, and so I've stopped. So flax seeds are great. Water, be drinking early and often. Always have a glass of water with you. And water, you want to put lemon juice in it, because that also helps you burn fat, but the key is that the lemon has citric acid, and that will prevent, or I should say, greatly enhance the prevention of stones forming. Kidney stones, gallstones, you don't want those things. So that's one of the big ways to stop that. Coffee and tea, make sure they're organic. Carbonated water, Perrier, all of the different brands are great. Pellegrino's fantastic. Even, you know, any store brand, Trader Joe's has their own, so does everyone else. Those are great. Put a little lime or lemon in it, or cucumber. It tastes great, and it breaks up the 8 to 10 glasses of plain water a day. So, and then bone broth. Bone broth, what it does is it gives you all of your minerals and electrolytes. So that is really important. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how important your minerals and electrolytes are. As you may know, I'm in Arizona, and it is, the weather's very variable right now, but today it was about 84 or 5, so it's heating up. And I've been out walking, jogging in 50-degree weather, but all of a sudden I went later in the day, and I felt good. I felt like it was a tough jog, but I did it, and the minute I got home, I almost collapsed. And I realized immediately I was very low on my electrolytes. So I took an electrolyte supplement. You can buy any one, just make sure it doesn't have added sugar, or things that end in OSE, like dextrose. You don't want that. But a couple of glasses of water with electrolytes, and then that's when I ate, and I immediately felt well. So just make sure you're drinking water, make sure you're getting your electrolytes, and be careful. So a couple other things. Eat real foods. We're not eating anything in packages or processed. That's one of the key components to keto. We're trying to get in a very good lifestyle, very healthy, So we're not eating packaged foods. So we're eating real foods. We're sticking to 20 carbs or less in the form of green leafy vegetables and other vegetables. So we are eating a lot of vegetables. We're just sticking with the low starch ones. Eat when you are hungry. And if you're supposed to eat and you don't feel hungry, just wait. Wait an hour. You might find you're hungry then. You don't have to eat just because you're used to it. We're trying to change the way we think about everything. We're doing this paradigm shift away from the way we used to be. And we don't have to eat at any certain time. We're rewriting the rules on understanding if we're full. And then when you're eating, eat until you're satisfied, but then stop. Don't just keep eating. So another thing is, obviously, we're not eating any sugar. Sugar is like a Brillo pad to your gut. It just destroys it. Sugar is so damaging to so many parts of the body that as much as I loved sugar, I'm sure I was a sugar addict, I don't think I'll be having sugar again in my lifetime. I'm sure, once in a great while, but, as the great tennis player Novak Djokovic showed us, it was about 7 years ago, he decided to make a huge shift in his tennis because he wasn't really successfully beating the other two top players, Rafa Nadal and, of course, the great Roger Federer. So he went to a doctor and he found that he should be gluten-free. So not only did he go gluten-free, but he went sugar-free, and he went very much like this keto diet and a lot of great veggies. And he has a piece. He actually doesn't even have a piece. He has a bite of a piece of his birthday cake once a year, and that's it. And I think his results are absolutely staggering. Unfortunately, he's beating up on Rafa Nadal and Roger Federer all the time. So anybody can change at any moment. And if you didn't join us in the first 11 days, it doesn't matter. We're in this together. We've got a lot more time. We've got 30 days. And a couple other things we're not eating is dairy, grains, obviously the high sugar salt fruits such as watermelon and papaya and mango and things like that. Those are definitely not good for you in terms of keeping your insulin resistance way down. Beans and alcohol. So on the side of sweeteners, obviously we're not eating sugar, but stevia is great. And then monk fruit is excellent. And then the sugar alcohols, which are erythritol. There's one called, I can't remember. I'll put it in the next video, but there's a wide variety now at every store. I've been checking it out, going to different stores, and everybody has these things. So the great thing is we're going on this at a time in history when there couldn't be more choices for us. And pop in the store, pick up some salmon, some eggs. If you want a little feta cheese or hard cheeses are fine. Again, that's the one thing I kind of watch portion control on. But in terms of other things like your salmon, beef, eggs, obviously, your green leafy veggies and all the other ones we talked about, you can have an unlimited amount. What you're going to find, though, is when you're on keto and you're burning ketones and you're doing intermittent fasting, you don't have much of an appetite. So what you're doing is you're eating for your body and you're eating to live. You're not living to eat. Remember, the fork, you cannot outrun the fork. So the diet is 85%. So let's get you on keto. If you've already been on with me for a while, you're doing great. And let's get to day 12 tomorrow. That's a big achievement. Hope you're, drinking a lot of water. And I will see you tomorrow with another video from Jane Does Keto, Jane Mitten. And follow me on YouTube at Jane Mitten. Subscribe to my channel. And Instagram, Global Jane. Hope you have a great day.